Hey everyone, Dom here. Welcome to another episode of Cubase Secrets. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create these super organic tape stop and tape start effects like this. Cool tape flutter effects like this. Super wonky, and a combination of old school vinyl and tape effects. Using 0 plugins in Cubase. Let's get started. This tape stop and vinyl effects can add a really cool vibe and interest to your productions, a little bit of spice. So I'm going to show you how to create all this today. Like I said, using 0 plugins. The only thing we're going to use is the sampler track in Cubase. And I'm going to start with a very simple sample. I'm going to play it for you. Just a Rhodes loop. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my lower zone and I'm going to select my track and I'm going to select the sampler control tab, and right here we can drop our audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it and drop it, and straight away I have a playable instrument, as you know by now. Which is great. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I normalize this sample so that it's nice and loud. So I'm going to go here and normalize my sample. There we go. Now we're going to do quite a bit of work in the sampler track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it full screen so I have a nice big overview of my sampler track. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the sample. I don't want this beginning right here, so I'm going to trim sample. There we go. And now I have a nice overview of my sample as well. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to create a very simple tape start and tape stop effect. This is a really effective effect if you use it in a production, especially if you're producing beats or if you're creating house tracks, stuff like this. So the only thing we need to do in order to do this is modulate our pitch. And in order to do this, I'm going to go here to my pitch modulation. I'm going to click on this. And as you can see, now we have an envelope. This envelope is not activated yet though. We can see with our cursor right here where we are at any given point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this is flat for now. And now I'm going to add quite a bit of envelope amount right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the tape start effect first. I'm going to go here to my attack and I'm going to bring it down. And let's see what we have here. See, straight away I have this kind of tape start effect. Let's see, maybe 185 milliseconds, something like this. I can make it slower if I want. Or I can make it even more drastic. And I can even create curves here. This is pretty cool. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to create the tape stop effect. So when we lift the key, we're going to get the tape stop effect, like the tape is going slower and stopping, right? So in order to do this, I want to work with the release. And right now the release is a little bit short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my amp envelope here and I'm going to go to my modulation and I'm going to make sure that my release is a little bit longer so that we have time to listen to this tape stop effect. Let's see. I think that's going to be enough. Let's go back to our pitch envelope. And now I'm going to go to my release. This is my release right here. And I'm going to do the same thing. So let's see. Let's listen to it. I want to create a curve right here. Maybe I want to do something like this. Yeah. This is pretty cool. Now, if you want to make this even more organic, even more interesting, one thing that you can do, and this is a pretty cool trick, is to emulate this behavior with your filter. And not only this is going to give us a better impact when we create our tape start and tape stop effects, but it's also going to allow us to have a different sound depending on what velocity we use on the keyboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a note of these values here. I have 222 milliseconds right here, and here we have, let's see, 322 milliseconds, and I'm going to go to my filter here, and I'm going to just turn it down. See, we get this nice sub sound right here. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of drive. And now I'm going to modulate the filter. So I'm going to go here to modulation, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to add quite a bit of amount here, and I'm going to make my attack, let's say, something like this. And I'm going to make my release a bit longer as well. So let's listen to the difference with and without the filter. So that's without the filter. And with. The cool thing that I can do right now is if I play low velocities on my filter, I'm going to be able to open the filter more or less. So if I play softly or loud, so you can create all sorts of effects just by using the velocity on your keyboard. Now I'm going to show you how you can create tape flutter effects. And this is dead easy. Let me show you how you do this. All you need to do is go here to our pitch section and make sure we add a little bit of LFO, maybe 3 or 4%, not more than this. And let's listen. But what will make a huge difference in order to make those flutter sounds more unpredictable and more organic is just a couple of things. If we go here to our modulators page, all I need to do is, number one, go here where we can select our waveform. You see it's set in a sine wave right now, and what I can do is I can change the shape a little bit. So if I go like this, now this is way more unpredictable. Or what I can do is I can go for a random waveform. And another thing that you can do is you can activate the modulation wheel control. This means that when you activate this, you're not gonna get any flutter until you use your mod wheel. So let's try that. Mod wheel right here. So this is nice and organic, and if you use the mod wheel, you can actually go a little bit higher with your LFO here, make it more drastic, because you have control of how much you're going to affect your LFO. So if you want to go completely wonky, you can do this. The next thing that you can do is add a little bit of a lo-fi vibe, a little bit of a vinyl sound to your samples. And this is, again, super easy to do. All you need to do is go here where it says quality, and you can select vintage. And here you can select your bit reduction. You can select your turntable speed. This emulates the speed of a real vinyl turntable, and the sample rate reduction. So let's have a listen. It sounds so cool. And you can experiment with the different settings here. So as you can see, you can really transform your sample if you want to. Now I'm going to show you another way to create those tape stop and tape flutter effects, and this is by using the shaper envelope in the sampler track. And right here I've already created a curve, a shaper envelope curve, and it sounds like this. So this is pretty crazy. And here's another example. You can see you can create some crazy pitch modulation like this. So very quickly, let me show you how it works. All you need to do is go here where it says mode and select shaper. Once you click on this, the only thing you need to do is either start drawing your own curves by double clicking and creating points like this. Or you can draw curves using the paint tool. What I like to do when I use the paint tool is I like to activate fixed mode so that when I add any points, it won't move what I already have in my shaper envelope. I'm going to select a few curves and let's see how they sound. Maybe something like this. Kind of created a vibrato effect that kind of grows, and if I want to edit these points, it's actually very easy. I can select them and then scale them. Change their duration. I can tilt them. And I can experiment with different shapes. The other great thing is that you can create your own custom user shape. So let's say I create a shape that looks like this. I can select this, hit save shape, and this is going to be added to my user shapes like this. So I've created a few shapes here. This is really nice because you can create subtle custom shapes that will allow you to get the most organic flutters ever. There you go. This is how you can create all those beautiful effects in Cubase using nothing but the sampler track. Have fun, experiment, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.